With the shenanigans this girl gets into, it's a wonder we haven't had any injuries on the show thus far. And speaking of injuries, I took a trip to the Indiana Medical History Museum. We're in the old pathology building of the Indiana Medical History Museum, which was formerly known as the Central Indiana Hospital for the Insane. And I am here with the Executive Director, Sarah Halter, who's going to tell us a little bit more about the room that we're sitting in. And this is the old amphitheater.
That's right. This building was a research facility. It was the pathological department of Central State Hospital, and this was a teaching amphitheater for students. Medical students came here for lectures in psychiatry and neurology, and also viewed autopsies here.
And we took a quick little walk through, and this place is like a time capsule. Everything is so intact, and it's so fascinating for any of you history buffs.
The laboratory closed as part of Central State Hospital in 1968, and then reopened as the Indiana Medical History Museum in '69. And when that reopened, all of the original furnishings and equipment were still here and intact. So what you see on the tour is what they were using here in 1896 when it was a cutting-edge medical research facility.
When we were taking the walk through, there are actual human specimens, human brains that are still preserved in those jars from patients way back when.
Yes. They preserved them as teaching aids for the students, and so they're still on display with the, excerpts from the pathology records that are posted next to them.
So for the chemistry room, you showed me the refrigerator that was purchased in the 1920s, but there was also a contraption in there that was used during Prohibition.
Yeah, the still up in the corner, they purchased that during Prohibition. They had to get a special license in order to purchase it, and then it was tested periodically to make sure that they weren't using it for recreational purposes. The records room is directly above the autopsy room. The speaking tube comes up from the first floor there, so while they were performing the autopsy downstairs, another physician sat at the desk writing notes in the autopsy ledger. In the histology lab, they were studying cell structure and learning about tissue. They were learning about what exactly diseases do to you that make you sick, that sort of thing. And they were using tissue samples that they collected during the autopsies for that.
In the photography room, the camera in there is extremely large.
Yes, it produces photomicrographs, so it's sort of a box camera with a microscope attached to it.
In the chemistry lab upstairs here, there are vials of all of this original, chemicals and serums and things that were used to treat patients that are still intact.
Yeah, they have their original contents in them, and they're things that were used throughout the laboratories, preserving tissue, for chemical experiments and diagnostic testing, developing film, that sort of thing.
Well, you were talking to me about some of the events that you do with kids right here in the amphitheater and on the grounds, so right close to Halloween. So, and I mean, since Halloween's kind of coming up, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we do Wizards Academy, so kids come dressed up as witches and wizards, and they get sorted into their houses, and they go around the building doing science experiments in the labs here.
Okay, to schedule your tour of this fascinating historical museum, you can visit their website or give them a call here, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. It's extremely fascinating, and we really enjoyed our visit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.